Hello, everybody. Sorry I was a little slow there getting on stream. Yes, I went to make some tea, and I guess I got it started later than I thought, and then I went to get some milk because I wanted to put a little milk in it because of the streaming. It helps with the throat, and there's no milk, and I'm like, well, all sorts of things. So there we are. Yes, tea is happening, but it was not cooperating, as before has mentioned. Yes, can't not do tea. So I've got my cup of tea. It's very dark inside. Well, you can't really see because the inside's dark as well. But I was hoping for a little bit of milk for my throat, you know. Since we're going to be hanging out together here for 2 hours, it's a good idea to take care of the throat. So, well, there we are. So how is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope you are not having a lack of milk issues in your homestead. So here we are. Lord of the Rings Online. I have dressed up my girl. We're running around in Cardolan today, and so I thought, you know, maybe looking a little. Oh, look at that! She looked right at me. That's a little creepy. Anyway, she's fashionable and yet ready for adventure. So there we go. And speaking of ready for adventure, let's grab these ingredient crates here, and grab that one, and we'll grab that one. We'll grab a Hobbit gift or two, because we haven't been on actually since last Tuesday. It's been a little busy here in the borough. So I will grab my silver gift from Wido Boffin. Thank you, Wido. And a gift from Asilia Took. 3 combat run speed boosts. All right. Oh, how bad is my inventory? Oh yeah, it's a mess. Oh, I just realized then that we missed the bonus. Oh, dang. The bonus virtue weekend. I was going to come in and clear out my inventory last weekend. Totally missed it. So I may end up just having to consume them without the bonus. Ah, it's so sad to do that. But. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and grab some VIP rewards because that runs out in 1 hour and 3/4. So, and that had run out completely, so that's not going to do any good now, will it? All right, well, I'll have to pick which of my characters will be consuming these Virtue XPs. Well, I guess I can just consume these, why not? Because I'm not full up on my character yet. But of anybody, she is the one that does get full. So that's why I'm tempted to not add to her, because hello, goodbye. Cat just got up. There's some cat treats happening off stream. So okay, you know what, maybe I will go ahead, oops, throw these in shared storage until I can get another character on who will consume them. I've been waiting like months for that VIP weekend, and then I totally not VIP, the Virtue XP. And then what happens? We get busy and I totally forget about it. Drive-by catting. I know, right? She was like, I'm out of here. So lag of milk. Yes. Also like a lack of milk. Yeah, okay. My virtue cap was reached, but we're done with that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just flipping through everything faster than anything. So here we are. Oh, hey, you know, wait, hang on. Before I jump up in the saddle, I'm still missing a couple of emote. So there's some emotes in the game that if you receive somebody doing those emotes at you 100 times, then you get credit for finishing that. Thank you. So I am still missing the laughing one. So as it turns out, you can do these to an NPC, a named NPC, and it counts as if they were being done to you. So this is how you can, like, you know, solo these emotes if you have to, basically. Unfortunately for me, I'm still not there, and I can't believe it because I keep doing them. I'm like, how much further have I got to go? Oh, well, we'll find out eventually. Okay, so that's done. And yes, I am wearing, I put on the Fine Gray Company hood, and then I dyed it purple. Or lavender, or rose, one of those. They're very similar in colors, as you can see. I think I'm wearing lavender and purple, and I think you're wearing rose. I think Affodil is wearing rose, and I think Rose and Bloom is wearing purple and lavender. My guess. The other emote I'm working on, I am working on two emotes. One is the laugh emote, ha 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 ha, and the other one is rude, where you're like, yeah, it's kind of rude. So I don't run around doing that at people, as you might guess. So those are the two that I'm still working on, because if I go to my deed tracker, class, race, epic, and look at the ones that are completed, in race and social, completed, there is a list of them. We're getting close. Here we go. Okay, so they start here, and if I cross-check that versus the deed tracker, which knows about hidden deeds, because these are hidden deeds, so it's not going to show me how far I am in the in-game deed log, but the deed tracker can confirm for me, yes, you have it, or no, you don't, at least. So if I look at, yeah, here we go. So these are the race and social emotes that I'm looking at there. And if I scroll down just an itty bitty, so you can see alluring, befuddle, blah, 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 all the way down to infuriating. Okay, so let's scroll down to the eyes. So there we have infuriating, got that one done. But the next one is insulted, and you can see that insulted is missing. So the next one it gets to is intimidating, which, yes, I have, so that tracks. And then the next one after that is juggler, which I don't have, and then naughty. So if I look at the deed tracker, it tells me that insulted, it doesn't tell me which one it is, actually. That is just as part of spell. I think I looked on the wiki, unless I picked the wrong emotes. But juggler, the ability to amuse your friends is a skill worth cultivating. People often find you funny. I'm pretty sure that's laugh. And insulted, I'm pretty sure is rude. And the lore on that one says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is, unless they're part of some spell, those can sting. People often signal their disdain for you. Let's see, if you hover over that, it doesn't tell you what emote it was, does it? Yeah, I think you have to go to the wiki to get confirmation of which emote they are. So I'm working on those two. Oh, we have a Casper sighting. Hey, buddy. Oh, you guys I hear them in the background. They're running around being silly. So I think they're going to chase each other around for a little bit, and then he'll come back maybe. So yeah, so I finished all those other ones, as you can see. It's just those two that I'm still working on. And I don't understand how that's possible. Like, how do I not have juggler done, which is laughing? Like, we laugh at each other all the time. So I don't know. I guess it just hasn't happened. And there are two of them that take extras, but I thought I had done those, so. Anyway, that's a long way to say I haven't got it done, which I thought I had done, so we'll keep working on it. All right, so I think, hey, you two. Usually they're not quite as aggressive with each other. Once in a while. Handsome cat. Yes, he is. I know. He's definitely feeling quite much more settled in being with us than he was a while ago. Oh, nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Which one is that? Oh, Banner Honorian. Did you buy it? Yeah. Oh, that's a store-bought emote. Yeah. Banner Honorian. 95. What? Did she run off and leave you? I'm sure she'll be back, you know. He is being really vocal today all of a sudden. You're such a goof. I'll pay attention to you if you want. No, he wants to play with her. He's like looking forlornly at the stairwell where she took off. That's really quite funny. All right. Well, let's get ourselves over to Cardolan. Nice banner. It's an excellent banner. Yeah, it is a pretty tree. That is actually a very nice looking tree on there. I like that a lot. Oh, most of the emotes are $1.95, but Affodil's saying that specific one was only $95, so it was cheap. Although, are they on sale? What's on sale right now? What's going on? Is it, was it sales? Yeah. Well, let's find out. We've got Shared wardrobe. Oh, select shared wardrobe and more. Well, let's learn more. War Steed cosmetic outfit, slot number 3. I'm going to want that when we get there, but I'll wait till we get there. Some clothing. Ceremonial leggings. I don't find myself wearing leggings a lot because I tend to wear the dresses or robes or and whatnot. So I don't end up using those. And boots are kind of lost on me as well as a hobbity person. He is just chatty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the treats got them wound up. It's wild. All right, so it looks like we've got boots and things. All the other storage I've already purchased because when the storage was on sale, I went ahead and got it. I was like, yeah, we're doing this. It was on sale for like 50% off or something at one point. I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing that for sure. Oh, and always my favorite thing to check, carry-alls. Small crafting carry-all, medium crafting carry-all, large crafting carry-all, and then some cosmetic stuff. Okay, so no. All right, accessories are everything. No kidding. Says Aaron Bard. Okay, where were we? Oh, you know, we might have a milestone set out there. I've got a milestone set to Stonecrop encampment. You want to try that? All right, let's do it. Let's give it a try while I drink my milkless tea. I was just going to put a splash in it too, which is kind of funny. It's like, it's not a lot. It's like a winter tea. It's not this one. Like this is Winter Glow, but it's like that. So it's got like, you know, it makes you think of winter. They were out of that one. This one is like a vanilla something, which is lovely. But I like it with like a little bit of honey and then just like a splash of milk. So it kind of, there's like almost like a bitterness to the black tea and it just takes that edge off. It's really nice. But I mean, I can drink black tea black, but I like it with a little hint of milk. But we ran out today, which means I won't be able to drink any milk with my vitamins. I've been taking some supplements recently, and I've been drinking milk with that because I've heard that milk or calcium is good when you are doing magnesium. So, like, well, if they work well together, sure, let's do that. Oh yeah, right. So we're here, and we went over and we looked at that lake that looks like a donut or like a circle. Depending on your perspective, or both. And then we were making our way up to Herne, but then we also have this little cluster that started over in Nimbarth that we need to go and check out as well. Okay, right on. I've forgotten. This is where we were. And it's quite rainy in the game. We did have some rain today too, actually. It was a little like misty today, kind of like that, just spitting a little. That was a word I used earlier to describe the rain. Now I can't remember what it was. But like, yeah, it was just misting. So the kind of like rain where you're walking around and you're like, I feel like I might be getting slightly damp. But it's not like you're being rained on, you know, you don't feel like that. And then also like, you know, if you like pull your phone out and your screen starts to get little dots on it, you're like, it must be raining. It's that kind of rain today. So, but it was nice and warm. It was like 8 degrees here, which is, what is it? Double it and add 35? So 16 plus 35 would be 35, 40, yeah, 16, 35, 45, like 50 degrees today. So that's not bad. I still wore my big warm puffer coat because I was standing out in the cool, and I'm not quite warmed up enough yet for that. Really what I need to do is I need to get back to wearing layers on days like that. But, you know, when it's misting, I figure, so, okay, this is what's been on my mind recently, is for the winter, for the cold days, I got this, like, puffer coat, as they're called, which remind me a little bit of, like, the old 1980s winter coats that just are puffy, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just puffy. And when you walk, it's like, you know, as the fabric kind of scrapes against itself, right? Oh, the air is silent. The wind is still. Where are the guards? I don't know. Let's ask this guy. Oh, he stares at you with suspicious eyes and hurries for his home. Okay. Hey, lady, what's up? Like her neighbor, the woman glares at you and hurries home. Well, what an interesting reception we're receiving here. Well, there's somebody over here by the, oh, that's, yeah. Oh, this is a mission person. Nope, we don't need to do that right now, thanks. Yeah. Been to the Black Grave? Are you looking to improve your jewelry? What? Are these two connected? Well, here's that crossway house we were told to go and check out, so maybe we'll go inside there. The inside of the inn is dark and quiet. Manildir is like, an ill feeling has settled upon the whole town. It was not like this when I last came this way. All right, well, let's see what he has to say. You and your friends might want to keep walking, stranger. Herne is not the place it once was, and you will not find welcome here. You ask him what happened to the town, and he frowns, shaking his head. 4 nights ago, something evil passed through the center of Herne. No one knows exactly what it might have been, but every night since, a terrible fear has seized the town. Old man Aberthal says he saw something that first night, but I don't know. He was an adventurer in his younger days, and he has such a reputation for tale spinning that it has always been hard to tell the truth from the falsehoods in his stories. But something happened that night, and the town has not been the same ever since. You'd best be moving on, you and your friends, before the dark comes again. Okay, so it's not so much of a get the heck out of here, we don't want you, but more of a you might want to keep going for your own good kind of thing. All right. Yes, before. A very modern way of reckoning the weather. Raining light enough so that you can still use your phone, but the screen gets a bit damp. Yes, modern ways of detecting the weather. All right, so Boromir says, I have seen something like this before. Well, I say seen, but I did not see it. Say instead that I felt it. Something dark and evil. It filled man and horse with dread. We stood in defense of the river at Osgiliath when this presence came upon us, and even the boldest among us were seized by a terrible fear. We cast down the bridge behind us, and only a few of us escaped. I've never felt a fear like that before. Some of my men claim they saw the figure from which the terror spread, but I do not know if I believe it. Might that evil have come from north, from Gondor somehow? I did feel as if I were being watched at times as I rode through the empty lands. Were they not as empty as they appeared? I should speak with the old man the innkeeper mentioned. If his story matches those of my soldiers, that will tell me something of the evil that came to Herne. All right. Hey, innkeeper. I think we're going to stick around. He says, well, I hope you won't use old Aberthal too harshly. He is something of a peculiar fellow, but despite his strangeness, most of Herne's folks are quite fond of him, and he has always brought his custom to Crossway House, which I appreciate. Let me give you a mug of his favorite spiced beer. It may loosen his tongue. And to be truthful, that is not usually a problem for our Aberthal, but he may not want to speak about whatever happened to him that night. The beer may make him more willing to talk with you. Okie dokie. He gives you a mug of beer that smells strongly of cinnamon. Cinnamon. All right. Let's see. Our ranger says, you go with Boromir and Egfrith to speak with this man. I will ask around Herne to see what else I can learn about what happened here. All right. And the innkeeper does have another quest for us, the Ruddy Moor Wolf Pack. He says, life in Herne was never easy, but lately some darkness has passed through the land, stirring up all manner of foul things. There's a wolf pack north of here, which does not usually trouble the town or those on the road, but of late they have become vicious, attacking passerbys and raiding the town at night. If you could thin out the pack, that would help immensely. Well, sure. You're over here talking to somebody. Oh, you found the hobbit-sized folk. I think those are the children. But that's all right. Indeed. Let's see. Yes, I do recall. Oh, over here there's a quest too. This dwarfy dwarf. He says, are you a traveler as I am? Interesting. I am journeying south to the White Mountains to see the dwarf halls there, but I heard from someone on the road that the rocks of this place have a red sheen to them, and it put me in mind of the Iron Hill. I thought I would see them for myself, and if there's valuable ore to be found here, perhaps I will delay my southward journey and stay for a while. If you meet me west of town, I'd appreciate both the company and the help. All right. That is a quest called an eye for such things. I mean, I guess I could take off my hood inside the inn, right? Here, hang on. Let me stop being quite so scary. I might be scary. There we go. Any other quests up here? Cute inn, though. Yeah. Hey, little plate of fruit on the side. That's cool.
Huh. That's what I would think of as a beyond.
Oh, yeah? Upstairs?
Yeah.
These people are sleeping. Oh, here you are. Yeah. No Dunlending. Which does make sense because they were talking about how they've left the south and have traveled north to try and find somewhere safer to be. We'll wave at him too. Bye. All right. Yes, we just jump around this place. Well, shall we head outside and take a look? Yeah. All right. Let me put my hood back on. You know, scary business out here. There we go. Okay, we're ready. Oh, hey, there's a couple of ring-a-ding-dings somewhere. Oh, no, there we are. Edhan, what's up? He says, I'm exhausted, friend. I work for Maddock in Crossway House, and it's my job to carry crates and supplies into the tavern whenever they are delivered. But the wagon driver from Breland just departed, and he refused to leave the crates any nearer than the very outskirts of Herne. He said there's a bad feeling about the town today, and he didn't want to stay here any longer than was strictly necessary. He did the least amount of effort, but I have already done more than I should. Do you think you could bring the last 2 crates inside Crossway House and set them down in the storage room with the fireplace? I'd really appreciate resting my arms for a moment, and I wouldn't forget it. The last 2 crates are right where the eastern road leaves Herne. Okay. You just went back in? But you have to come back out the front door?
I just wondered where the door went.
Yeah. Does that door get us close to that storage room?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice. That's convenient. I get the impression that there's something happening over here. Oh, is this the fellow's house? I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh, probably.
Let's see what we got inside here. This is Rendal's house. Oh, no, this person has a quest, though, for us. Let's see. What does Caddy have to say? Who are you? Are you looking for Master Rendal? He hasn't been home for a few days. Oh, my name is Caddy. Mama let me come here to take care of the trees. I watered some, but then there were dark and scary shapes on the road, so I ran in here. I think they're gone, but I don't want to leave yet. Could you help me? Master Randall planted them just outside. There's some saplings. Yeah, that's what they're called. He waters them, then he talks to the other trees. At least I think he does. The trees must be very good listeners. So our objective is to water saplings and talk to trees? Sure. We can do that. Tending to what remains. So, cute little house. Yeah, nice. I like how they've kind of like expanded on some of the housing looks with adding into this new area. Oh, hey, here's a sapling. Might as well water it while I'm here. And by water, we really mean just throw stuff at it. Okay, we can do that. Oh, I conversed with the tree. Nice. Oh, I see. We have to water the saplings and talk to the trees. Okay. So we water the youngins, talk to the older ones. Got it. Had a little conversation. It was very nice. We branched out on a few subjects, but I think we're going to leave it there. Oh, here's a sapling. All right. And one more tree to talk to. Yes, one more tree to talk to. All right, so you were exploring on Treebeard. Oh, nice. And you ran across the hardened traveler in Little Delving. Awesome. This is a question from Aaron Bard. Hang on, let me go inside here. It offered an adjustment to difficulty level, but it said it would cancel all difficulty achievements. Do you know what that is about? Yes. And B4 has included a link there that is the information from SSG. But basically what the dealio is, when you pick up the quest from the guy, you pick up a quest that says, I would like to, change my difficulty to X. And when you do that, then you turn the deed back, turn the quest back in. Once you've turned that quest back in, you then pick up or are auto bestowed a pair of, is it under class? Quests, yeah. So you've got some, new deeds that you can then complete. If you do, I think, anything, it says in the thing, at least hard. If you play on hard or above, you're going to get, let me find the one. So you're going to get an adept of whatever class you are. So for example, I'm a hunter. So adept of bows is a deed that was bestowed upon me. And if I get to level 130, playing on hard difficulty or higher as a hunter, then I will get this, I will complete this deed. There was one for reaching level 50, and that was Apprentice of Bows. Okay, so Apprentice of Bows was what I got for playing on hard difficulty or higher on a hunter once I had picked up that thing. Now, you have to pick up and turn in that quest to that Hardened Traveler guy before you become level 11. If you do it after you've become level 11, you won't get these deeds. They're not available to you anymore. You have to do it before then, because the idea is that you're doing this through most of the game at this level. Okay, so there's a pair of deeds then for going. So if you say, like, you turn in, you're like, I'll play on hard, and he'll be like, have these pair of deeds, one for level 50 and one for level 130. If you bump it up before that, if you choose instead, not hard, not dangerous, but you choose deadly, deadly plus 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, all the way up to plus 6, any of the deadlies, there's another pair of deeds that you will have bestowed upon you. And that was, let's see, we have Apprentice of Bows, and then, what was my other one? There was a second one. Oh, no, I'm not seeing it. I'm probably just missing it though. But you can see the ones for 130. So if I get to 130, playing on hard or higher, I get Adept of Bows as a title. If I get to 130 as a hunter, playing under deadly difficulty or higher, I also get Master of Bows. So I'll get both of those titles. Yes, and B4 does point out that these rewards are account-wide titles. So any character I have on any server can now use the titles that I've earned here on Treebeard. Now, the thing is, though, and I think B4 probably mentions this. Let me see what he wrote. He says, if you're at least hard before level 11 and don't go down below hard, then you qualify for that deed that we talked about that you get at level 50 and the one that you complete when you get to level 130. If you are on deadly plus 0 or any of those higher, so deadly or higher before level 11, and don't go below deadly, then you qualify for these additional 2 deeds that I showed you. If you at any point choose something lower, you lose out. Those deeds that you could have earned from being at the higher difficulty are gone. They're in the trash. You never get them back. There's no way to get them back. So I picked up, for example, deadly difficulty when I was, I don't know, like level 6 or something like that, maybe level 5. I mean, I did it really early because I didn't want to miss out. So I picked up deadly, and I have been playing non-deadly plus 0 for most of the game. I did bump it up to deadly plus 3 for a little while, but then I came back down to deadly plus 0. So I have never gone below deadly plus 0. Now let's say I'm playing, maybe I switch out and I'm going to play a Bjorning. And let's say I get deadly on Bjorning, and then, I'm playing through it and I'm like, this is just too hard. I'm not enjoying it, whatever. I'm like, I'll just bump it down to hard. Well, I'll still get the hard deeds. Those will stick around, but the ones I could have gotten from being at deadly are gone. Even if I go back up, they're gone. So what some people did, unfortunately, is they chose like hard at level 7 or 8 just to try it out, thinking, okay, I've gotten to level 11 to make a choice. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Whatever you choose sets that kind of water level for you, and the lowest water level you're at is what the deeds that you qualify for. So just keep that in mind. If you are still less than level 11, you still have the ability to pick that up for the deeds. Now, that aside, that's only about the deeds. So if you just want to play it deadly and have fun with it, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go do this though at normal. Okay, now I'm going to try this at hard, and you don't care about the deeds, do it. Just do whatever you want. The deeds are the only thing that matter for that level up and down part. But the difficulty is just for fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the added challenge of it. So, oh yeah, or like if you're playing your second or your third minstrel or something, like for example, in this case, Affodil is, B4's main minstrel on this server, has been at Deadly +0, up through Deadly +6, since the beginning. He stopped at 3, and is the one character who will be getting these titles for his account and earning those deeds. So any other minstrel he plays, he can set whatever level he wants and just do it at what's comfortable, what's fun. So now, I like the deadly difficulty, and I'm really hoping that they do bring this to the live servers, because I think it's been a lot of fun. And I like the fact that you can opt in and out. Like, you don't have to. Not recommended for your first run through the game, asks Aaron Bard. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would really depend on, have you ever played Lotro before? Like, you've played Lotro. Like, you play Lotro. So, I mean, you're fine. It's not like you're walking and going, okay, how do I walk forward? How do I hit something? How do I pick up a quest? Like, it would be adding one more layer of complication to understanding how to play the game. So that might be, like less interesting, or maybe not. But like, there's people who play MMOs all over the place, right? Like, they've been playing MMOs for decades, or they play a whole bunch of them, or both, whatever. And they may enjoy that extra challenge. So I would say, if you want to try it, then try it. We are all about the deeds. These are our deed completionist characters. So these characters are definitely going for the deeds. If the deeds were not in play, I would probably still keep it at Deadly, though, because I'm really enjoying, like, the monsters are harder to hit. They have the ability to deflect a little bit more. They hit you a little bit harder. There's also an effect that can come into play called the Eye of Sauron, which basically means your presence is kind of attracting some attention. You're getting noticed, and so the animals, or whatever it is that you're fighting, the creatures that you're fighting, they may kind of like be like, hey, they're here, kind of thing. And there's an effect that hits you where there's like a blast of fire, like a fireball coming in, just hitting you, kind of like the fire kegs that those dwarves can drop. So that's something you could, that you have, that happens when you're playing on Deadly, difficulty, and you don't have that at the lower difficulties. So some people like it, some people don't. I like it, so I would stay playing at Deadly difficulty, I think. I mean, I was playing a Rune Keeper, which I have no idea how to play a Rune Keeper, because we were doing some leveling, some stuff, and that's my scholar, and I wanted some scholar recipes that you can only get over in Dunland, so we were doing some leveling and questing, and I kept that character also at Deadly. I didn't drop down, and I was enjoying that, even with the character that I'm really bad at playing. So, I guess it really depends on how comfortable are you in the game, and are you up for a little bit more of a challenge, or would you rather not? Yeah, B4 probably said similar things I just said. He says, if you're comfortable with MMOs in general, then even if it's your first time playing Lotro, I'd say give it a try. There's no penalty to trying it and then stopping later because you didn't, because it's just like you didn't try it in the first place, right? So try it and stop it. It's the same as never trying it in the first place in terms of how the deeds are concerned. So, also, yeah, B4 does point out that when you do instances during the storyline, 3+ person instances, it turns off that landscape difficulty. So it's really funny because you go into an instance and you're like, wow, this seems really easy. And they're like, oh, right, no landscape difficulty. So, yeah. What kind of class are you playing, Aaron Bard? Because you mentioned that you do a button smasher in combat. Is that a warden? Sounds like a warden to me. That's how I play a warden. Oh, a hunter? You know, okay, yeah, there is a bit of that actually too, because the hunter abilities are so good. But I do kind of have a little bit of a process, I guess. I'll show you here. I'll talk to you here in a second on that. Let me see what this guy has to say. He said, the trees must have been so lonely. I think you made them happy again. A long, long time ago, there used to be more trees all over. Did you know that? Mr. Rendall told me. But then his ancestors, that means people in his family from a long time ago, cut all those trees down and they didn't plant more. How could they be so mean? Didn't they know there wouldn't be anything left after because of them? This must be why Master Rendall plants so many trees by himself. He wants to fix what his family did, but he shouldn't have to do this alone. I want to help him. Oh, that's very nice of you.
Adventurer, aren't you?
I said, well, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Just like Mr. Rendall. He warned me to stay away from the beech trees in Wylven Clove because of the wolves, or Welvin Clove. But wolves aren't scared of you, right? Welvin Clove is that way. Is that northwest? Well, there must be lots of beech nuts on the ground there, and then after you come back, we can take out the seeds. Take the seeds together. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go. Let's go pick up some seeds to plant more seedlings. All that business. Hey, Garther. Hey, Garther's in the chat, says, I found it easier to solo the 3-man version of Woe of the Widlow at Deadly +0 than the solo version because of the landscape difficulty. That's what I mean. The landscape difficulty just adds a lot to the experience, but I really enjoy it. So, yeah. And Ionide de Corpse, wow, that's quite the name. Says each class a little bit, each class has a little bit of a different rotation of skills. Oh, I'm carrying a crate, sorry. I should carry this to, with all the goods and stuff. Let's see, I think it goes to this building? Yeah, okay, cool. And we gotta take it to the fireplace room. Awesome. Hey, we delivered the crate. 1 down, 1 to go. All right, let's go get some more. B4 says, yep, when we are doing skirmishes, he says if I want it to be easier, I switch it to a 3-person. Yeah, which is so funny. And B4 also says, I like how the rotations for each class feel different. They really do feel very different. Like I said, when I was playing the Runekeeper, there was a lot of interesting skills that were not like the skills that I have for my hunter. So it was definitely, learning something. But what I ended up doing is I ended up kind of getting like a handful of things under my belt. Like, okay, I know how to do this and this and this, and I know how to do this and this and this, like that sort of thing. And then, uh-oh, did you get credit for setting down the crate? Okay. It says you set down the crate. That was the last one. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this guy. He's out here. Hey, my friend, we did the thing. He says, thank you so much for your help. I don't have much to offer you, but I hope this reward is helpful to you. Yeah, sure. Thanks, mister. Thanks, mister. Let's see. And ANA says, granted, I haven't been on in a long time. I forgot my 3rd character could 140. I got a bit bored. Oh, then you should definitely try the landscape difficulty over here on Treebeard or on Shadowfax. I find it's a lot of fun. And then there's some conversation about landscape soldiers. How do you use soldiers on the landscape? You use your skirmish soldier on the landscape with a landscape token.
Evil fears not to walk in the light of day.
That they haven't been on in a long time? I think so. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Oh, okay. So yeah, Agarthur mentions, you can summon your skirmish soldier outside of a skirmish, like out here in landscape and whatnot. He says, I don't believe it works in city areas, like debris and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I don't use it very often. But that's what's that little button over on the side is when you consume that landscape soldier token, it just adds some time to your like pool of time. And so I've got a little landscape token over there, or I guess over there, that I could click, and then out would come my little helper. So yeah. So yeah, B4 points out that yeah, actually for neither of us do we have any characters at 140. We keep getting distracted by other things, and like right now we're playing on Treebeard, which currently the max level is 75. So we're doing a whole bunch of 75 content, but we've also decided to go back and do the Swanfleet and Cardolan content because we haven't actually done this before. So this is kind of cool for us. It's our first time through with that content because it's new. But yeah, so we're not even going to get to 140 with these characters for a few more years because every 6 months, 5 to 6 months is when they bring out the next expansion for us on Treebeard. So, you know, roughly twice a year, which is great because it gives us time to really delve in and do all these fun things. So that's pretty fun. So, okay. So this person says, what were you doing out on the streets? Stranger, don't tell me you haven't heard about the evil things roaming about. I may not be a brave man, but something ain't right about those riders. If I can live my life without ever seeing them again, I'll die content. Well, if you're intent on returning outside, could you look around Herne for my sheep? The 5 of them got spooked and escaped the pen. He says, just pet them a bit and they'll calm down. I don't want them running off into the wilderness. He says, here, before you go looking, take some of this hay and fill up the trough outside in the pen. That's so funny. We've been playing, so I play board games online on Board Game Arena a lot of times. And Agricola, when it came out, was very popular, but I haven't played it in quite a while. And it just is available now on Board Game Arena. So I've started playing Agricola, and I'm like, how do you play Agricola again? So talk about sheep and fences and all of that. I'm like, this is what it reminds me of.
I have no memory of this place.
Yeah, I have no memory of this game. It's like, oh my gosh, how in the world do we play this again? It seems like it's been so long. All right, we gotta go find some sheep and pet them, and then they'll head back to their pens. So, hey, sheepy, 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 sheepy. Yeah, it does say to go this way. I'll give it a try. I see a circle on the... Ah, hey, there you are. Oh, I have to get close to you. Hey, the sheep says bah. Do you know... Animals, the what sound an animal makes is not like taught the same like in every language. So, you know, the sheep goes ba is probably not what they say for Dutch. Probably goes like beh or blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know what it would say. All right, we're going to pet this one. But this sheep says ba. There was something with the cat. No, what was it? There was every so often we end up talking to somebody who has children or, you know, whatever, and then we can find out what the animal sounds are. It's always fun. Let's see. Aaron Bard says, this writer has never met real sheep. They be aggressive. I have been near real sheep. When I lived in England, there was the lambing that would happen in the spring where the lambs are, I guess, born. So we were around the lambs. Because it was the thing where all like the village children were all invited out to the farm where it was happening, and so they got to see like a lamb get born, and it was some cool stuff. Huh, the last sheep doesn't appear to be anywhere in Herne. Yeah, I agree with that. I was just wondering. All right, so now what do we do? I guess we'll go back and let him know we can't find the 5th one. Where's that guy live? He's over here somewhere. Oh yeah, here's his house. Okay. Hang on, let's see what he's got. He says you couldn't find the last one. There can't be that many places for a sheep to hide in Herne. I agree. Even ever tracked an animal before? I mean, I'm a hunter. Yes. The answer is yes. Yes, I have. I've heard them ranger folk are mighty good at it, but I don't know much. You ought to check the pen. Before it fled, the last thing the sheep did was eat at the trough. Take care. There was wolves outside Herne, and I've heard tell of worse things lurking up beyond. Just thinking about it is enough to make my skin crawl. All right, new quest. Runaway sheep. Okay. Oh, anyway, so there were sheep and there were lambs and horses and anyway, so it was grand animal time. So I know I've met sheep, but I'm trying to think if I haven't shorn any sheep. A clearly panicked sheep darted out of this pen toward the northwest trail. Okay, well, let's look at a hoof print trail. Follow that hoof. But that's something I actually want to try sometime, is I'd like to like find somebody who has sheep and, you know, be around when they're shearing the sheep. Just to kind of feel because since I've been doing so much crocheting and knitting and stuff, I'm quite curious about that process and seeing more of it from, you know, earlier points. I think that would be quite interesting. So at some point I'll make friends with somebody or find somebody who can do it, or, you know, who does it, like allows you to come and hang out and watch it. Oh, the trail ends abruptly at this pool of blood. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let's check it out. Blood splatters.
The sheep are aggressive.
The sheep are aggressive.
Did to that rabbit.
All right, we've got blood splatters going here. All right, so let's see. ANA says, I have my champ, hunter, lore master at 140, and then your guardian and your captain are at 130. Nice. Oh, okay. So B4 says, in shop hat be of me. All right. So instead of ba, it's kind of a be. The smell of long rotted meat assails your nose as a white rushes towards you. I mean, as, you know, as quickly as they do rush. White defeated. I think the white ate your sheep, my dude. I'm sorry to say. Hélas. I wonder if there's something for... Is there an animal shooting deed out here? No? Okay. All right, thanks. In Australia, toy cars go nerm nerm instead of vroom vroom. I like it. Oh, hey, Moobot, thank you. The latest expansion soundtrack for Before the Shadow that we are playing here can be found on YouTube. So this is something I think is pretty cool, is the music in the game is so fantastic. It's just so lovely. And so what they go and put the music out on YouTube when they get the chance to do so, which I'm like, that's so cool. So you can listen to it for free. All right, this dwarf says, aye, these rocks do indeed have a red sheen to them, but the real value lies within, I warrant. Will you help me gather up chunks of red rock for closer study? Okay. Oops. Yes, sorry. All right. Let's go find some red rocks. You know, in Colorado, there's a bunch of red rocks. Oh, those are branches, but I'll grab them. Ooh, I'm very excited about the class changes. I didn't listen to Court of the Rings this week, so I don't know if there's any new information, but that idea that we'll be able to make some choices about, you know, what professions we do and stuff, that sounds pretty awesome. Because right now I'm a tailor, forester, prospector, and those are not necessarily the three I would choose. Like, we were discussing this before, that having a tailor is useful for the light and medium leather, so that's nice to have, but that doesn't have to be on this character. Like, and also gathering both ore and wood is also all right, but man, if I could collect wood with my woodworker, that'd be kind of cool, you know. Having other characters who could pick up the wood for your woodworker is kind of handy though. So yeah, I don't know how I would change it. If you can only have 3, if it stays with that, then that would be something I'd have to make choices. Excuse me. And then on the other hand, though, like it sounds like it'd be really cool to do like a master gatherer, right? So you would do ore and wood and scholar materials. That'd be pretty cool. I would absolutely go for that. Yeah, this does look a little bit like Red Rocks. Or Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. This is nice. Okay, I'm coming to you. Like Arthur's been to Garden of the Gods. It says it's amazing. Nice. Yeah, I grew up out in that area. So I've been to the Garden of the Gods probably hundreds of times. It's so beautiful.
I am at your service.
He says, ah, yes, these rocks are notable. Now, these were all pretty near the surface, and the working of wind and rain caused them to slough from the larger crags. There could well be valuable ore buried a little deeper. I may have to stay here and Ruddymore a bit longer after all. My journey will have to wait, even though the town of Herne seems glum and gloomy. Why are the most valuable materials never to be found in places of cheer? Well, you have helped me, my friend. Take this reward and my thanks. Well, sure, thanks, my dude. Let's see. Egg Arthur says knock knock in German is klopf klopf. In French is toc toc. Different sonal patterns. Nice. Ane says that you think you had a character here on the Treebeard server, but most of your tunes are on Arkenstone. Been on that server since launch. Nice. I'm not on Arkenstone, but I'm on I'm on a lot of servers. I'm not on the German servers or the French server. Yes, Aaron Bard asks, where can you find the older music? Also on YouTube? Yes. If you go to that YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure that's the Lord of the Rings YouTube channel, and it would have all the music on there in various playlists, and that's really awesome. Oh yeah, there we go. Excuse me. Yes, B4 has posted the link there that the Lotro soundtracks are there at the YouTube thing. And yes, Ane was, talking about the professions. They say originally it was built to have everyone have to rely on the other professions. So, people had to connect with other players. And, but that's not, there's so much solo play now. They have done a lot of changing with that. Over the years, how it was very much oriented towards trying to make people work together and how that has changed. And they've definitely moved toward a more solo play now, which is, just players' habits change. And so while, 15, 20 years ago, playing as a group in an MMO was what you did, it seems like now people play solo in MMOs and various other games a lot more often. So accommodating for that as a company makes the most sense. I understand that's smart. That's wise to shift with the changes. So I appreciate that we did have to coordinate with each other, but now I like that they're moving away from that and letting you choose a little bit more. So, but yeah, we were talking and wondering if, will you be allowed to choose 3 gathering professions, or will you be restricted to no more than X amount, those sorts of things. Oops, well, I'm just collecting nuts. Who are you attacking? Oh, defeating moorland howlers. Well, I suppose I can help with that. Oh, so we were talking about hunter rotation and stuff. So when you first get started, you have a couple of kind of basic shots you can do, which is your barbed arrow, your swift bow, and quick shot. You get reasonably early in the game, I think. So those are a nice 3 to start with. They also, I really like the some of the abilities that use focus, and so they're a good way to build focus. For example, the quick shot, it adds 1 to focus. Now I'm in precision stance, which adds 1 focus every 5 seconds and gives me extra finesse ratings, so I have a better chance for criticals, which I like. I really am a kind of a critical junkie. So that's why I choose to stay in that stance more often than not. Huh. Yeah, what was that? That gloom. How weird. Huh. So some of these numbers may be different on different stances. So just letting you know. So the quick shot gives you 1 focus. Swift bow, improved swift bow gives me 2 focus. and barbed arrow gives me 1 focus. So I like how that helps to add to my focus bar over there, which is what the little awning is over the top of the Hobbit hole door there. I'm using a UI skin, so some of my stuff looks a little different, but that's where my focus bar is that little awning over the thing. Let's see. Oh, hey, I've collected all the beech nuts that I need.
Moorland slinkers.
And, oh, yep, I need Moorland Slinkers. Oh, nice. Well, after that, I will do a search. All right. Yes, I know how to search for animals. All right. There's one, and it's just to the north of us. Yeah, they are. It's kind of sneaky, aren't they? Okay. Yeah, I think that might be all we're doing out here in the wild. We did not change our milestone to Herne. Oh, so we're just going to use our... oh, wait. Stone crop. Okay. Aaron Bard is since a bit sad to me after all this isn't Solo of the Ring. Well, no, but I think, I mean, there's still so many opportunities to group up with somebody. Like, for example, every single stream, you hardly ever see me by myself. Like, you absolutely can still, you know, fellowship up with people, and that is my preferred way of playing. But I do appreciate that if I cannot find someone to fellowship up with, or if I want to go and check something out, I want to go experience something, that I am not relying on having to find other people in order to do that. So I appreciate that most of the game is accessible to me, regardless of whether I have somebody playing with me that day or whether I'm playing by myself that day. Like, I can go and do festivals solo all the day long, right? Like, I don't need to wait to find someone to fellowship with to do a festival. I can do that on my own as much as I want. So like I say, so I appreciate that. Yes, you definitely want to bring as much of the lore of things into the game, but I understand that they do have some restrictions based on, you know, real life. That's something that has come up before, and like Cord has talked about it, and especially Severlin has talked about it, about how, you know, trying to find that balance between, or maybe it was Matt, who does the landscapes and stuff. Anyway, I was talking talking about how you've got the lore and you've got what's acceptable, what people will accept in an MMO, and you have to find where, as much as possible, where those overlap and where you can blend those together. And I think they've done a really good job of bringing us into Middle-earth, letting us explore Middle-earth, letting us just go free throughout Middle-earth. We're not on rails, like we can wander around, do whatever we want, right? And keeping it still interesting to play, you know, and bringing in storylines that may not be exactly in the book, but there's breadcrumbs in the book that you can take those and be like, ah, okay, I could definitely see how this would make sense over here. You know, like the idea of Boromir being betrothed and who he would be betrothed to makes sense. You know, like it would be somebody who's going to be a higher up person, you know, that's, so just kind of connecting those kinds of dots, and then creating a whole storyline out of that. I think they've done a really good job with those sorts of things. So, so while I get what you're saying about how it's not Solo of the Ring, it's Fellowship of the Ring, you know, I think it is, the burden is on us to also make sure we take that time to do the Fellowship, because we don't have to, so it is our choice. Now, the larger raids and things like that, you do need people. So there's still some of that. Like, we now have access to a raid called Dragach. And that one you have a minimum, you need a minimum of 6 people to do it. So, you know, there's still stuff in the game where you're like, ah, I'm going to need people. So that's fun.
Thank you, traveler. hope this
All right, he thanks us, and he hopes this quells the brazenness of the wolves. Well, you betcha. We need to go find that guy in the Aberforth, the old feller, in his house, and take this beer we've been carrying around for him. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see, where does he live? Where does he live? So, Ane says it was different at launch. It was a much more difficult game. Even just the landscape zones had more mobs and lots of elite ones. Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? MMOs 15, 20 years ago, that's what people were looking for. They were looking for that grind and looking for, you know, just not necessarily what I would call a challenge, but something where it was just like, you just had to beat at it and beat at it and beat at it, beat at it until you won. Like, it's that's kind of like, you know, think about like the old Mario game where you just had to keep doing the thing over and over again until you actually made the jump. You know, and then you make the jump. Okay, now you've got that done. Okay, now you've got to come, you got to hit this just right. Okay, you know, you could do that. You got to just hit this just right. You know, it's like, so it's just, it's taking that, you know, rote way of processing through the game. And that's what was the culture of some of video games, right? Not all of them, but I mean, with some of it. So taking that into the MMOs, I mean, that's what made sense at the time. So I'm really glad that the way that people interact in MMOs has changed. The way I interact with the MMO, like the way I interact with Lord of the Rings Online. Like I was playing another game, Hero Quest. No, not Hero Quest. That's the board game. Titan Quest. That's what it was. I was playing Titan Quest. And I was really enjoying the lore and the storyline, and the combat was okay. Like, that wasn't what was really my jam. But I would do it, and I would, you know, work my way through it. But it was fun because there were definitely places where you were like, okay, when I get to here, I have to do this one first and do that one second, and then we focus on this one. It's like you just have this way that you have to do it in order to progress past an area. And then it had like different ages kind of. And so when I got into like the third age, I think it was, like the difficulty just ramped up. Like each time it ramped up, you know. And so I wasn't able to make it very far in that I think it was third age. And it was really disappointing for me because I'm like, I really want to engage with this. I want to engage with the storyline. I want to go and have fun with this. But it just, if you couldn't pass this gate, you can't go over there, you know, like that sort of thing. And I found that really frustrating. And so I quit playing, you know. And so I'm glad that I have more options here. Like if I find myself beating my head against something in this game, like there's other options, right? I can find other things to do while I level up, whatever. So that's, I appreciate that times have changed and that Lotro's changed with that. So that's good. Let's see. Before has posted a link with the release notes for tomorrow's patch. I haven't even read those yet. Aaron Bard says, I love it when they extrapolate from crumbs for story creation, right? I struggle with rumors of good orcs. Do the orcs tell good rumors? I don't speak orcs, so I'm a little out of it there. So, let's see. Annie says, like the old forest in Bree, you needed a group to go through it, right? Everything was trying to kill you. So funny because, okay, so we here on Treebeard, we were trying to get, what is that, the Undying title that you get at level 20. And we were in the old forest and we were in the spider zone and it was getting really dicey. And we were like level 18 and 19, I think it was. And, unfortunately, we got into real trouble, and I managed to get out of the way and get out of there. But unfortunately, Affadil was caught and got taken down. So Affadil did not get the Undying title at like 19 and some. It was like, oh man, yes, it was very sad. It was very sad for you. Thalamaska. And Megan, hiya. Hiya, Megan. Good to see you. It says that forest was the scariest thing when I started playing ages ago. You know what caught me out was Angmar. I just found Angmar so, like, it was just Like everything was so dark and everything was so mad at us. And like there was nowhere you could go that wasn't like, somebody's going to give, so, there's this here, there's that there. This. Like I just felt like Angmar was just so like scary but oppressive, right? So Angmar I still remember from when I first started playing. And so yeah, before said it still feels weird when the roots aren't immediately hostile. Oh, and a good call out here, the legendary item reward track has only 14 days and 21 hours left to go. So if you are working on that, you might want to check where you are and see if you're getting close. Oh, I'm like at 95. So over the next 2 weeks, I'll definitely want to make sure that we finish me up to 100 so I can get that legendary coffer of the warm goat, winter goat kid. Definitely want that. So yeah, and now they put a map in for it. They say, I'm very happy they put a map in it. I remember having to memorize every turn. You still do because the map is not accurate. It's got some accuracy to it, but it's still like one of those, I think I remember that there was some trees here when I was in the old forest, and they're not there, right? Like you think there's an opening there, there's not opening there. So you still have to know how to get around. So Erenbard is talking about being not a fan of the grind and okay with evolving, but wants to make sure they don't drift away from the lore. You've heard a rumor there's a storyline in one of the newer expansions where there's good orcs. I haven't heard anything about that. Let's see what else. Yeah, Angmar is so oppressive, yeah. So yeah, and before points out that, things that are good or evil, it comes down to the choices, not necessarily their birth. I've always felt like orcs get a bad rap, right? Like it's, maybe they're not all bad. Like maybe they really want to, just raise their kids and, work in the mines and go home at night and have some gruel or whatever. So, B4 has posted a link to a more accurate Old Forest map if you do find yourself getting really lost in there, like I do. And he says it's making you want to restart your sub. Still sad. I was moving when they did the lifetime sub and you missed it. Well, I missed it too, but that was because it was before I was playing Lotro. So you're among friends in the not having a lifetime sub. How's that? I wish they would do it again, but they are pretty adamant that that's not ever going to happen again. But hey, you know what though? We do just the yearly sub, right? So I only have to think about it once a year. I don't have to think about it monthly, which is nice. And it's cheaper if you do it like a year at a time. And every year I'm like, okay, it's about to re-up. Are we likely to play this, 6 months or more this coming year? And the answer is, so far, has been yes, every time we've gone to renew. So we just renew it and then, don't have to think about it for years. So I've got unlimited play for a year, basically every time, which is nice. And he says, I started when the game launched, then moved and found out they did it, and it broke my heart. Oh, I know, right? There's probably some good benefits or some goodies that, yeah, I know. But I've noticed that there was an armor set, and I can't remember which one it is now, but where it was available with one of the early expansions, Moria, or it wasn't Moria or something like that, but like Rohan. No, I don't know. There was an armor set that you can only get from buying an expansion when it first came out. And so this would have been 12 years ago or something. They, somewhere in the last couple of years, made another armor set, excuse me. It's not the same name, but the cosmetic look of it is very, very similar. So my hope is that over time they will kind of revisit some of, those things that were available in the past but aren't available now, like the little mouse that comes out of the wall and eats a little piece of cheese. Like finding things similar to that would be really cool. So that way those of us who missed out on things still have the opportunity to get some of these fun rewards, but just in different ways. All right, so he says, what happened? Did you find the sheep? And we tell him our story, and the blood drains from his face. Oh, black riders, dead things walking, omens of worse times ahead. Still, I haven't got the means to leave Herne and find somewhere safer. This town is my whole world. I just hope those riders don't come back. Well, stay safe out there. All right, we will do our best. I think think we'll be okay because we're kind of over level. You have that, the mouse thing. Of course you do, because you've been playing forever. Yes, a friend of ours that was playing with us on Anor and then joined us for a little bit on Treebeard. Like, I guess for every character that you create, you get one of those. And so he put... he's like, I've got extras. Who wants them in their house? And so a couple of us have them in our houses here on Treebeard, and that just makes me so happy.
You found a lot.
All right, so we brought some seeds back to the kid. He says, oh, you found a lot. He eagerly takes the beech nuts from you and spreads them out onto the table. I take half, you take half. I don't know how to get the seeds out. If you don't know, I will teach you. All right, we're going to harvest some seeds out of these beech nuts. Oh, cute. They're like all fuzzy. All right, harvesting seeds out of fuzzy nuts. I have seen these before, and in real life, I have no idea how to take them out. So I'm glad this kid knows how to do it. All right, it says, when Mr. Rendell comes back, I'm going to plant so many trees with him. Caddy Beams. Thank you. You are so welcome. Well, maybe she. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right, small beginnings. Hooray. Dude, we really got to find this guy with the beer. Or who wants the beer. Carrying this mug around. Yes, talking about the mouse, and it's a cosmetic for your house, as A-Name mentions. Aaron Bard, if you are ever in the kin house for the Grand Order, the Lost Matham Society, there's one in there. So you go into the house and you end up in that little antechamber, go into the main room and turn, and it's in that back wall. Yes, George the mouse. That is a housing item. What it does is it puts a little crack in the wall, and then it sets the piece of cheese on the ground, and then every so often, yes, the mouse comes out, eats at the cheese, and runs back in. That is the housing deco. And you only could get it from, let's see, how did you get it, A&A? Pre-ordering Mines of Moria, says before. Yeah, so that's like a while ago. You know, you cannot pre-order Mines of Moria anymore. You can get Mines of Moria, but you don't get the housing item. And you can't buy it like in the store. It's not available that way or anything. It's like nothing. Oh, she says, well met. I am Arona, basket weaver of Herne. If you're looking to make some coin, I am looking for some help. Sure. East of Herne are various bodies of water from which I often go to gather reeds with which to make my baskets. Of late, the reeds have been decimated by sickle flies, well, by their larvae. And she shudders, saying the word. Bah! If you can reduce the number of sickle flies there, I will pay you. The season may be near to over, but at least this way there will be fewer to breed for the next. Sure. Sickles among the reeds. Aaron Bart, you think your friend got it as a Yule drop? I have not seen that before. So one of the things that has happened with... Now, they do have the birdhouse. I did get the birdhouse as a Yule festival drop, which is an old thing that's you can't get also anymore. But, okay, hang on. This guy says, Herne stands on a rocky plateau overlooking Readymore, and the road takes a wide loop around the town. Do you think you could go the crossroads to the west and to the north and look for any signs of danger? A foul mood has settled upon the town in recent days, and I grow increasingly worried some evil might have set its sights upon this town where I was born. I don't remember it being like this in all my years, and my sister and I have lived here all our lives. Yeah, sure, we can do that, mister. No problemo. All right, where is this guy's house? Back north of us, okay. But here's a house. Hey, Cadwallain, Mayor of Herne. Ah, so you made it back, I see. You have my thanks. One day, Tharbad will be ours once more. That's the mayor that we rescued back in Tharbad. Hey, he's got a nice little place going on here. Oh, hello. Hey, Ragnar. Nevitt family stew. Wow. She says, you rescued my fool of a father, and for that I cannot thank you enough. Much as we may bicker, he is still family, and I love him. Pay no heed to his harshness. He's always been like that. The accident only made it worse. When I left, he could still walk. However, I came back as soon as I received word that his condition had worsened. Sadly, he won't speak to me right now, but I know how to warm his heart. I'm going to make his favorite stew. With your help, that is. I'm loath to leave his side now that I'm home, but you could get the things I need. There would be some coin in it for you if you help. So we need bread from the baker, potatoes from Powell Bruthless, stewing herbs from Tangwin, a bottle of Crossway House Finest Red, goat stew the way Mother used to make it, a Nevitt family favorite and secret recipe, which means we need goat meat as well. Only from the favorite goats will do. You'll know them by their ruddy colored coat, and there's a herd of them west of town that we can cull from. Goodness. All right, what have we got up here? Oh, that is a nice painting. That's cool. Look at that. That's a nice painting. All right. So what have we got in the chat? Oops. Oh yeah, Cool Witch was saying, I wondered where that mouse came from. And you did order that part back in the day. Well, hooray for you. That's awesome. Yeah. I wish there was a way to be like, order from the Lotro store or whatever, like, you know, pre-order goodies. Like bundles or something. Let's see. Okay, so this is Alwena. She runs the Hall of Crafts. But of late there's been a decrease in custom and she wants us to get to the bottom of it. Can we speak encouraging words to the neighbors and tell them that even in days of darkness, working with your hands on crafts and trade can make the days seem brighter? Well, also coming dawn will help. You know, just a thought there. You only started playing last year and he has the thing. Well, I have one in my house, but because my friend put one in my house for me, so that was kind of cool. JC Lives, hello friends, hello. Welcome to the chat. Oops, hang on, I gotta go talk to this discouraged person. Go. Let's see, Moobot has put some links in there with the recent Lotro letter in English, French, and German. DE for the German for Deutsch. As opposed to Dutch, which is Nederlands. Don't get them confused. Hey, here's the guy. Hey, mister, I got a mug of beer for you. He says, why have you come to bother me? I speak to no one, not since. We set the beer on his table for him. Have a beer. Well, now that's different, he says. Well, I have not had any visitors in quite some time. What brings you to my home? You want to hear about the crawling darkness. He shakes in his chair and then takes a bracing gulp from the mug of beer. Maybe I had better know your names. Who are these companions you bring with you? So we're going to introduce Egfrith. And we introduce Boromir. And he says, Boromir, you say? Surely you're not the same Boromir who is the son of the steward of Gondor. Some 20 years ago I traveled in the Southlands, adventuring, you know, and I had the privilege of meeting the steward. I remember his sons, both of lordly mien, who do bear a resemblance to the elder of the two, but you travel now in secret, it seems. I will say no more of it. A guard of the citadel, if not its captain, in my own home. I can hardly believe it. And Egfrith, a proud woman of Rohan. In the days of my youth I rode across the Rittermark at a joyful gallop. Is Theoden still king of Rohan? It was a beautiful land, and he was stern but strong, loved by his people and respected by his foes. It must still be so. The set of Egfrith's jaw tightens, but she says nothing. He continues, I will tell you what happened to me. With such fine protectors in my home, what have I to fear? Right, exactly. Let's see. Oh, and then there's some chat about hobbies, that painting as a hobby in the game would be cool, because there is still just the one hobby, correct? It is fishing. Yes, it is like fishing. You just cast and you wait, pull it in. Yeah, Cool Witch says they'd make a lot of money off me if they offered housing items from older raids in the store. Yeah, that'd be neat if they ended up, putting in some old stuff in there. But, yes, Aaron Bard says, I'm an immersion nut, so sitting in the Shire or other pretty places and fishing you find relaxing. I have definitely done that when I'm like working on something else. I'll just sit here and fish, you know, in the game, and I do find that kind of just chill, and I like it. So, yeah, and Cool Witch says the same. I sit at my hobbit hole whenever it rains, just enjoying it. Yeah, 10 gemstone, valid. Yep, exactly. Oh, how funny. On Landreval, says Aaron Bard, they've got a cooperative system going where the people who like to fish are paid for the edible fish, which are the ones that look like these here with the kind of greenish, bluish background. Those you can give to a cook and they can make them into food. Yeah, so it's... and then the fighters pay for the food. That's nice. So that's a nice exchange. Yeah, I give mine to the cooks as I can as well. So, okay, so the fellow says, 4 nights passed after the setting of the sun. I left my home to walk along the cobbled streets of Herne, as is my custom. I've done this for years, every night, ever since I gave up the adventuring life. You might think it odd, but I have found these moonlit strolls to keep something of my old wanderlust at bay. Perhaps this is the night I keep a-walking, Aberforth, old fellow. And then he asks himself, but then he always comes back to his home and sleep comes quickly. But on that night, while strolling along the lane west of my home, smelling the night flowers and listening to the sound of frogs down by the riverbank, I could sense that something was different. I can't tell you exactly what it might have been, but I was seized by a tremendous feeling of, wrongness. I felt it in the pit of my stomach. There is a grassy place on the left between 2 buildings along that lane, and a single tree grows there. My eye was drawn to that tree, and as I watched, I swear to you, a deeper shadow moved out from behind the trunk. It made a strange sound as it moved, a whispering just beyond the edge of my hearing, and it reminded me of being lost in a distant wood, stalked by a dangerous creature I could not yet see, but this was no mountain lion. I drew on all of my reserves of courage, I tell you, and I turned to run, but even as my muscles tensed, I knew it was too late. While I stood transfixed by the creeping shadow in front of me, a second dark figure had come up behind. This one towered above me, for it sat astride a great black steed, but I could not tell you how I had not heard the sound of its hooves on the cobbles as it approached. I must have fainted then, for the next thing I remember is being shaken awake by Blendry, one of the townspeople, carrying a lantern. He said he found me laying at the base of the tree between those 2 buildings on his way home, with no sign of either dark figure anywhere about. But every night since, a terrible sensation of dread has fallen upon Herne as the sun disappears beneath the horizon. Do you know what they were? Has anything of this sort been seen in Gondor or Rohan? What business could draw such terrible creatures to Herne? I think, stuff and things. What is it we need to tell him? Talk to Meneldir inside the Crossway House. All right, so we have the story from the old wandering adventurer, the old adventurer. You want to come up? Cat keeps looking at me. Are you coming or not? Yeah, do you need more blanket? Hang on. You know, when when a cat has a request, you have to, you have to pause whatever you're doing. Cats get priority, right? I know she hasn't said a thing over there. She doesn't meow. That's what I mean. Like, our cats definitely don't meow a lot. They're not very conversational. But man, Casper was talking up a storm earlier. That was pretty wild. Okay. Is that better? Well, come on. You. There we go. Here she comes. So this is Cato. I know some of you have seen her on stream a few times, but Cato and Casper do have a very similar look to each other. So it's not always easy to tell the difference, especially when you can't see the whole cat. Because my lap is a bit lower than, Yes, it is. Lower than the stream. All right, well, let's head on back to the Crossway House and talk to that feller. Sorry, if I can get to my keyboard, hang on. Thankfully, I have a wireless keyboard so I can move it around. Because there's times I need to do that because the cats take up spaces. So yes, this is Cato. She is at least 8 years old. She was 8 years old when she came to us in May. And she's 8 and Casper was 6. So we just figured, we don't know their actual birth dates. I want to double check their paperwork and see if it's in there at some point. But we figure if we can't figure out their birth dates, we'll just increment their year by 1 on their gotcha dates. So that'll probably work. All right, so we talked to, we're coming back to the person. She says, people seem frightened. I need them to feel safe when they come to the Hall of Crafts, or my business will suffer. I need to hire a guard to stand within the Hall of Crafts, and then they'll feel more safe. Here, take this pouch of coins to Herne, who works at the Crossway House. He's a strong and strapping lad, and I've noticed his muscles on more than one occasion. Tell him those coins can ease any of the reluctance he might feel to stop working for Maddock at the tavern, and in the future he'll be very well paid to work for me instead. Poaching? Goodness. Oh no, lady. We'll see how that goes. So Megan says, I've got a Siamese mix cat and she'll talk back anytime you speak to her. Yeah, I know, right? Like I was having a very similar conversation with my chiropractor today, and she also had a Siamese cat at one point, and it was very similar sort of thing, like talk, 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 talk. But these two, they're like European short hair cats. Interestingly, I'm used to, so they've got like kind of that M on the forehead going on. But there's like, you know, the black stripes on them, but the underlying color below that seems to be brown, as opposed to the cats that I have had that were striped and had the M, in America, that were more of a gray underneath. So the first time I noticed that they had brown undertones, I was like, whoa, am I just seeing this strangely? But no. It's really a difference. So it's kind of fun. So yes, I hear they talk a lot, Siamese. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've never had a Siamese cat. Pretty sure I've never had a Siamese cat. When I was growing up, we had cats come and go through the house. Unfortunately, we lived on a busy street, and yeah, it was chaos at times. And we had like one or two of them had feline leukemia, so we lost them, and you know, stuff happened. So we had numerous cats through the home at various times in my youth. Okay. She's gone off to look at something else for a moment. She might come back though. And I keep hoping Casper will come back, but I think, oh, he's sleeping. He's on the chair over there. He sometimes will come over on this chair and hang out with me, but the cats don't seem to like it when I'm talking a lot. So as soon as I go off stream and I'm quiet again, they'll both be like right here. Like, so I think that's what we have to do. We have to start the stream with the cats here, and I just whisper for a little while. So let's see. Aaron Bard has a black and white cat that talks as much as a Siamese. Agarther's mom's cat is Siamese and used to talk a lot, but she's older now and doesn't talk as much. Yes, how dare I talk? Yes, interfering with the cats and their sleeping abilities. So I have a little cat bed here on the, next to the desk. It's like this. It's big. So I have it like half off the desk. I've got like a TV tray next to my desk that's the same kind of height. And so the cat bed just sits there kind of like half on my desk, and because she just really wants to be on my desk. And that works okay sometimes, but like she just sits right in front of the monitor, and I'm like, hey, can I see what's going on? You know. So we've come to a compromise where she's got a bed at my desk, but it's not all the way on my desk. So it seems to be working really, really well. Oh, you're gonna go do tasks. Have a good time. All right, Tense Gemstone. Well, it was good to have you come by. Come on back anytime. All right, so bad for business. So Herne, the muscular helping hand of the town, listens with a frown as you explain that she wishes to hire him to stand guard at the Hall of Crafts. He says, there are a lot of coins here, but I don't think I can leave Maddock on his own like this. He's been good to me, and I don't know how Crossway House will manage to stay open without me doing the heavy lifting. Tell her I appreciate the offer, but I have to refuse. I know I complain about carrying so many boxes and crates all day, but I think standing in one place in the hall would wear me out even faster. With boredom. Yes, I'm glad that he made that choice to turn that offer down. I don't think it was the right offer for him as well. So, hey, we got some potatoes here. Hey, can we borrow these potatoes? Well, can we take some potatoes? Thanks. Hello. Oh, well, there we go. This person's been wanting to sell their potatoes. Happy to help. Oh, we've got a bottle of old wine for the recipe. All right, cool. All right, so let's see. Manil, dear, what have you got to say for yourself? He says, what did you learn from the old man? Well, we tell him the frightening nighttime encounter story. He frowns and strokes his beard. This does align with the story Boromir told us about the power he sensed at Osgiliath, but that is leagues away. What has brought it here, a horse, at such speed? I may know one name of these creatures, but I will not speak it here. He turns to the innkeeper. Maddock, may I ask you to open your doors to all the townsfolk of Herne this evening? Some evil has left its mark upon the village, and I think it would be best safest if the townsfolk sheltered behind the strong walls of Crossway House tonight. Then he turns back to you. He says, as for us, I think we should hunt some game in the Sedgemead to resupply the pantry, gather up firewood so we can keep the town's braziers burning all night, and bring word to the townspeople that they should shelter here in the Crossway House. What do you say to this plan? I will not leave these people undefended. I cannot. Okay, I'm with you. And then I'll bet there's some bread over here. Hello, thank you for pointing out the bread to me. And then I had a ring. Ah, it's probably upstairs. That would make sense. Oh, I forgot to take off my cowl. Well, they've seen me before. I won't be quite so scary, right? Hello, healer. You're here for the herbs that Rangier ordered. I have them right here. I hope our dear mare is not giving her too much trouble. Yes. No problemo. All right. Whee! Thank you. You know, every time I jump off of something, though, I can really feel it in my, like, real life legs. It's kind of funny. Oh, I guess I'm not going that far, am I? Whee! Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, Bloodry. You want the townsfolk to shelter within Crossway House tonight. He says, if I hadn't found old Aberthal lying on the ground the night this started happening, I might think it wasn't necessary. Stranger, but I believe something evil had him in its clutches, and it only departed when I drew near with my lamp. I will tell my neighbors your plan. Sounds great. Nice battle of banner of Anorian. Aphrodite quite likes the banners, or I should say before, quite likes the banners. Oh, I think we're just going across the street here. It was a long ways. All right. Hi, lady. You want the folk of Herne to shelter within the Crossway House tonight? All right. Well, she says, if I hadn't felt the dread that settles upon Herne when the sun goes down, I might object, stranger. But I will do as you say and let my neighbors know to do the same. Something is not right in Herne. Indeedly do. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this little space. Oh, it's her bedroom. Cute. Hey, heat rises, so maybe that room stays warm. All right, and sure, we can just run through. So we need to check some crossroads as well. Oh, hey, collecting some choice meats. Awesome. And what else we got here? Oh, today is, we were talking about the thing earlier. That box, if I had stayed within it, the fire would have blasted down upon me. That's what one of the effects of playing on deadly difficulty. Oh, okay. I was taking out some choice cuts of meat. I'm up to 4. Did you get credit for those? Awesome. So, an interesting and cool thing is that if you are doing a collection deed that like the collecting the meats there, where it counts for everybody in your fellowship, if you are within the radar of each other, so like Aphrodite's over here, run it over, and I get credit for that because I'm still close enough, you know, I'm nearby. But if I'm off the radar, I might not get credit for that. So that's why we try to keep an eye on each other and make sure we're, you know, close enough to each other that we still get credit for each other's deeds. Oops, I didn't mean to get that one. Sorry, grouse. Oh. I got a hill grouse. Nice. We were talking about hunter stuff earlier. So yeah, so I do those 3 to kind of start when I'm just running through, or when, you know, I use those first 3 in combat. Oh, there, I got hit by it. to work on boosting up my focus. So that way I have it for the, oh, there's a sickle fly. Too far away. No, it's not. It's because it helps, yeah, boost up my focus. And then I'm able to do some of the bigger hits, like this blood arrow says it costs 3 focus, but you'll see it does like 1700 to 2700 damage, as opposed to like my quick shot, which does like 400 to 600 damage. So that's a bit of a difference. So your bigger hitters often take more of that focus. So what I usually do when I first start playing a character, figuring out a new class, is I will arrange my buttons in the order of like most damage to least damage while I figure out, you know, so I know, okay, when I have a chance to use this skill, I should use it. Okay, if that skill is not available, use this one. Okay, if that one's not available, use this one. And just kind of work my way, you know, around until as I learn the skills. Now, that doesn't necessarily count for things like Warden, because you've got to do so much of the this plus that plus that. And I don't have that, I don't have that sorted yet. I don't have that knowledge yet. Oh, hey, there's a sickle fly. Because we need, how many sickle flies? Or did we get them all? No, we need 2 more. 2 more sickle flies. There's one. Awesome. So that's kind of how I start when I'm trying to figure out a character. Now, with the way I like to play Hunter, I know that I like things that are going to give me focus, because I like to then use the things that use that focus. We should go find the crossroads, yeah? Because I've got... Oh, I do need ruddy goat meat. Ruddy coat goat meat. And firewood. Oh, we didn't finish the firewood. Okay. Oh, dismounted, because we're short little hobbits going across the water. Splish splash, exactly. So what I've done with my hunter skills, and it's so funny because I kind of like make a note of this, like I do a screenshot. Oh, she's just making circles. And so then whenever I'm playing a hunter on a different server, or a new character on that server or whatever, I'm like, line it up so it's exactly the same. So I always just hit, so I don't have to think too hard about where are the buttons, you know, where's the thing I'm looking for. Those 3 are there. And then you notice these are grayed out because I don't have the focus for them. So I have them kind of lined up like that because I'm like, okay, I want the ones that are going to use that focus to come right after the ones that I need the focus to. Oops, you're not following me. Would you like to follow me? We're about to go through water, though, possibly. Whoa, splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. All right, so let's see. We need to, hi, Annie, welcome back. Yes, the hunter fast feet is nice. And we'll come back to that here in a second. So what Aaron Bard is talking about is this skill right here, Find the Path. And if you have that on as a hunter, your entire fellowship benefits from it. So that's a really nice thing to always make sure you have on, because then your whole fellowship moves faster, which is fantastic. I am in red line, which means I hit harder. But if I were in blue line, one of the options of blue is to run even faster. So over here, Pathfinder, you go fast. You're going to add another 5 or 10%. So you can get up to the point where you're running like 40% faster or something crazy like that. All right, so no, we'll just keep going through town. Okay. So yeah, so that's another thing too. There's a reason why, yeah, when you're questing with somebody, you might want to like keep your party somewhat together, because you all then benefit from the faster running. Oh, well, we could turn this into Lynette. She says, shelter in the Crossway house tonight. Preposterous. My family will do it as we have always done, stranger, and stay in our own home. There's a bad feeling about Herne of late, it is true, but with my door barred and the candles snuffed, my family has nothing to fear. Others can do as they will, but we will not cower in the tavern all night. This is some scheme of Maddox to fill his coffers, you mark my words. And old Aberthal has always been mad. Ask anyone. Good day to you, and do not bother me again. Okie dokie. We'll just leave her alone. Is it done? What a relief. Things are sure strange around here these days. The sickles. We got the sickles away from the raids. Ah! I have finished 15 quests in Cardolan. Woot woot. Yay. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got stuff. Okay. I was trying to take us out of the north of town, but we keep getting distracted by stuff in town. Hey, Alwina. He turned me down for the coins. Well, she says, I will take that pouch of coins back. I appreciate you asking him for me at any rate. Here, take a few of the coins I would have given to him. Still, I have to think about what I can do now. My problem remains. If folks are afraid to work in the Hall of Crafts, my business will suffer. What is happening to Herne these days? I don't know.
Yes.
Well, ruffians in Ruddymore. She says, I've done some thinking, and I believe the recent increase in ruffian activity near Herne is partly to blame for the townsfolk being reluctant to work in the Hall of Crafts. Can you do something about those ruffians? With fewer of those thieves and cut purses nearby, folk may feel more comfortable about frequenting my place of business. We were playing Dominion. Oh, it's mailbox. The other day, and one of the cards is a cut purse, and but we were playing it in Dutch, and so I kept calling it a cut purse because that was the word that made sense to me, but I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was, the cut purse? Yeah, something Snyder, because to snide in French, snide is to cut, is one of the verbs. There's a whole bunch of cutting verbs, but just like there would be in English, to cut, to chop, to slice, whatever, but yeah, it's one of the cutting, slicing verbs. Yeah, so it was like the gold cutter. No, it wasn't that though. What was it? He's gonna look it up. But that was kind of fun. So we went ahead. So yes, one of the things I requested from, I participate in a Secret Santa with some other board game folks. And I requested that my games be in Dutch because I think it is good learning, right? Like it's good practice. Let's see. Megan says, I think sauté is jump. In which language? Sauté? Would be French, I guess.
Yeah, French.
Oh, in French. Oh, okay.
Stuff's jumping.
Oh, because you saute food and the food is jumping. That's so cute. Because I'm like, saute is French, but saute is French for jump? Like, you'd think I would have remembered that. I had like 4 years of French. But apparently that one didn't stick with me. That's funny. Oh, ready goat meat. Yeah. Nope, not that one. Wait, ready coat. Why does that one not count? Don't know. Megan says, I've been using Duolingo for a long time. I'm enjoying it. That's awesome. I was doing Duolingo to help me keep brushing up on my Dutch, but I fell off the Duolingo wagon. I should probably get back on that. So, yes, French. Apparently, everybody knows that sauté means jump in French but me. I know it means like the food, right? Like to sauté food. Yeah, they said French. Oh, okay. Now, hang on. Oh, okay, that one has a ready coat and the thing. I keep looking at ones that look like they have ready coats, but they don't have, when you hover over it, it hasn't said the quest along the bottom. But that one did. I guess there are different ready coat goats. Can you say that 5 times fast? So, welcome new folks to the chat. We are obviously playing Lord of the Rings online. You probably noticed that somewhere in the information about, if you didn't know that already. But if you didn't know that already, we are playing Lord of the Rings online. And we are running around in Middle-earth and defeating some of the various things that are causing trouble in the area. We are in a new area that has been recently expanded into the game called Cardolan, which if you are a Tolkien buff, you might recognize that word. It doesn't come up much in the movies, any of them, Bakshi or Peter Jackson or any of those. But basically, there was a time when the kingdom, let's see if I get this right, the kingdom of Arnor, the king had 3 sons, and when he passed, he had the kingdom divided into 3 sections, so each one had their own section, and one of those was Cardolan. And then over time, Angmar, Sauron, stuff and bad things happened. So by the time you get to the Third Age, the kingdoms of Rudar and Cardolan and the north one, Fornost? Well, it was Arthedain. The seat was in Fornost. They've all gone into ruin because basically they ended up throwing in with Angmar and Sauron. And then Sauron was defeated, and the whole thing just kind of fell apart. So there used to be, like in the Second Age, and this comes up in this part of the quest line from time to time, you see how there's this dotted road leading from Fornost down through Breeland, down along here. It says the South Road here goes past Tharbad, where there's a big river to cross, and then continues into Dunland, and then further down from there, it goes out into like Rohan. Let's zoom out here even more. Down through Rohan and like Gondor and that area. So it's pretty cool how they basically took that, those breadcrumbs again, and created a storyline for it. Oh, maybe I'm looking at you. Aha! All is quiet at this meeting of the ways west of Herne. But see, we're on that road. We're on that greenway, as it is also known, the north-south road. Oh, we're just off of it, actually. So over time, though, actually, let me go back into that map. So Fornost still exists. It's kind of ruins. Breeland is still there with Bree. But once you get down here to Cardolan, there's a lot of ruins. Tharbad is in ruins. Well, the bridge, especially over Tharbad, that's mentioned in Lord of the Rings. So this whole area used to be a more thriving area, but when the forces of Sauron and Angmar and stuff came in, it basically, wiped people out, and so now there's just orcs and things in that area. But there's little pockets of people in various places. So we are helping folks out, and I did look. Thank you. Yes, things are all quiet on this part. Let's take a look. Oh, we needed to defeat ruffians. I think I am good on the ruffian defeating. Yeah, so we need to go find... Yeah, we'll just follow this road. And this will take us back to the Greenway. Aaron Bard was talking about auto-targeting, as I was doing earlier. How it can be a challenge as it takes out harmless animals. I wonder if this has any hidden consequences. Not that I believe. I think elves cannot actually do it, though. Elves or high elves, I think they're not actually capable of targeting those little animals. So I think that's terribly cute. Oh, awesome. B4 has... Oops, hang on. I got to look at things. This is one of the crossroads that he wanted us to look. Let's take a look. No obvious threats make themselves known at the crossroad north of Herne. Okay. So the crossroads are reasonably safe. Reasonably safe. So, so B4 was looking at the Lord of the Rings wiki, which says, after 800 years of peace, High King Erendur died in 3rd Age, 861, and his 3 squabbling sons, okay, so I guess they divided the realm into the 3 kingdoms of Arthedain, Cardolan, and Rudar. So that will tell you a little bit more about like these areas. If you dig into that lore, that tells you a little bit more about Cardolan, which is where we are now, which was one of those 3 kingdoms that it was broken into. Aaron Bard says, the best lore bit was the Hobbit archers that attended those epic wars. Yeah, and occasionally it's kind of fun because when you get, wow, really packed inventory apparently, but sometimes you pick up like a weapon, it drops into your hands and whatnot. And so sometimes some of these things will have some flavor text, and sometimes they have some really cute flavor text. Like this one says, crafted many years ago to repel a sweeping tide of goblins from the Shire, little used, the shield of the North Farthing, and yet still strong and true. You know, how cute is that? So I love that sometimes you'll find things in the game that do relate to the overall history, like because there were hobbits that helped out in a few places, in some battles that you would be very surprised to find hobbits at. All right, so Meneldir says the braziers are refilled and Maddox's pantry has been newly filled. Good. As for whether the townsfolk will shelter within the Crossway House tonight, let us hope more of them do than do not. It is for their own good, though they may not all believe it. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll wait for night to fall. Well, now we have other people to talk to, but I think they can be talked to afterwards. Yeah? Okay. Let's wait for night to fall. He says, I hope we've done enough. This night might be a hard one. Oh, good. I'm glad we can both do it together. So many of these instances, they make you do it solo, and it makes me sad, because I'm like, we could do this together. So one thing to keep in mind, if you're in an instance with other people, that what happens in the instance happens for everybody. So like right now I'm talking to this NPC. As soon as I hit continue quest, it's going to continue it for both of us. So if you're going through with somebody else, sometimes you want to take a minute and let them read the stuff too. So for example, he says, the waiting night is the instance. He says, it is a relief to me that so many of the Herne's folks listen to us. I hope the walls of the Crossway House prove strong enough to keep them safe, or that the evil has moved on and this plan is made unnecessary, but I cannot risk that. These first hours have not been difficult for the people of Herne, for Maddox has made a wise decision to let his ale flow freely and to set plenty of food upon his tables. The real test will come in the hours ahead. Will you speak with some of the folk here in the Crossway House and determine their mood? Okay, so we're going to talk to Maddox at the counter, Blendry upstairs, Adrith upstairs, and Aberthal here in the main room. Oh, and it looks like Boromir and Egfrith are here also, so that's good. And Affadil is going to check out the table. Maybe we'll grab a little bite to eat while we're, talking to some folks. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Moobot has posted the schedule of the various streamers. So if you ever are curious who is streaming when, you can look at that schedule. All right, Maddox, what do you know? He says, I have not seen the Crossway House this busy for many months. Would that it could be in better circumstances? Indeed. He said, some of my neighbors believe this is a scheme of mine cooked up to increase my custom. Ha! If only I could claim to have thought of it. Alas, I am not that smart. It does seem as if nothing will come to Herne this night. Still, you and your companions have my thanks. It is better to be safe than it is to be sorry, yes? All right, so he's cool. Aberforth. Hey, buddy, how's it going? He says, I'll tell you the honest truth. For you and your companions have my respect, and I cannot keep secrets from you. I wish I had not come here tonight. Maddox has been free with his spiced beer, and I appreciate it, but it changes nothing. I can see in the eye of my mind the crawling shape I encountered that night in town, and I know that if I look over my shoulder, I will see its companion sitting astride a steed black as night. They are waiting just outside the walls of the inn, waiting for me to emerge. I'm sorry, it's just such a strong feeling. I was an adventurer, and now I am undone by the faintest whisper of a memory. I am shamed. There are so many good folk here, and many of them, some of them heroes. Boromir of Gondor, Egfrith of Rohan, and I do not exclude you from that list. Forgive me, I will find my courage. There is safety among so many of us good folk. After all, these shadows will not dare to trouble us here. All right, let's go talk to the folks upstairs. Oh, yeah, I've still got my cowl on. Hang on, let me Make myself look more approachable. There we go. Okay. Hey, Aldith. She says, it's comforting to be inside on a night such as this, even if whatever came here before does not return. Sometimes the conversation ebbs, and I think I can hear wailing outside the walls of the inn, but that's just my imagination. Or perhaps the wind. We are safe in the Crossway House, I hope. Your companions have their weapons, and so do you. You will keep us safe if anything happens, won't you? The question is, how did Affodil get the title The Brilliant? What was that from?
Just nice of them to recognize me.
Affodil says, oh, it was just nice of them to recognize me as being brilliant. No, it was from, what did we do? We did something. Let's see, I gotta find Blendry. Where's Blendry? Oh. Haha. Here he is. Hey, my dude. Defeating glowworms in the dark delvings? Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What title do I have on right now? Well, I'll look in a minute. Blendry says, there's nothing out there, at least nothing that I can see. I've given myself a couple of frights already tonight when the wind kicks up and throws back the shutters on the inn, but that is all, for now anyway. I'm glad to be here with my neighbors and not out there in the dark. All right, well, it says return to your table. All right, well, let me head on back over. Which one's my table? Are they not on my table? Oh, pull up a seat, Rosenbloom. Yoki dokie. Sit at the table.
We should rest
while we can. Perhaps nothing will happen. But, dum dum dum. I cannot remain idle, my friend Meneldir, while danger approaches. My station shall be at a window, keeping watch. Okay, Boromir. It will be some hours until dawn, Boromir. That's okay. Let him. It's his thing. He says, it's of no use, Ranger. I have heard this of the men of Gondor. They lower their guard only when slain. You have heard it from them alone, I imagine. Aye, and loudly. Still, it is a trait the Rohirrim might have used and spared some sorrow. The land of my people, it is not what it was. Aw. A kingdom draws strength from its king. Yeah, and we know what's going on with the king. He's under the sway of Wormtongue right now. I'm sorry, spoilers. Yes. Well, he says, when we reach the Dunedain, surely they'll know how to bring some remedy. They'll know of a remedy that you can bring back. She's like, yes. Saruman the wizard is a friend of Rohan. Mm-hmm. His knowledge of remedies and curatives might have proved some help to your king. Yeah, except for he's not a friend of Rohan anymore. What is it, Egfrith? You've gone quite pale. She says, I did not want to say anything. But I fear the wizard might no longer be a friend to Rohan. Dum, dum, dum. Mm-hmm. She says, if Theoden King is to be cured, I would rather he recover on his own without the aid of Saruman. Aye, says Meneldir, that seems the wisest course. Perhaps you should see if Boromir has seen anything outside, Rosenbloom. Okay. I'll go talk to Boromir. Hey, B, what you got? Here, let me stand on a table so I can see. He says, there's nothing out there, just wind and darkness. You say so. He says, if something's going to happen, then let it happen. Here, I'll follow you. Actually, maybe I'll precede him and have a little munch, a little bite to eat. Yep. He says, cure this endless waiting. Will the sun never rise and put an end to it? By tomorrow, these dull hours will seem only a passing dream, Boromir. Nay, it could be like another dream I have had, one that never releases its grip. Well, that sounds lovely. Thanks, dude. She has said, we've all had dreams like that. Every day for the last half year, I have hoped I would wake from my own dream. I would rub the sleep from my eyes and see that Rohan is strong again. Would it be that it was so for Gondor as well? See, you guys have things in common. He says, but I speak of another dream. Have any of you ever experienced dreams with the feel of prophecy? He says. I told you of the assault upon Osgiliath in the days of June, did I not? And of the strange omens surrounding the battle? One of these was a dream with a feel of prophecy. Does a sleeping bag of Gladriel count? Back of the instance. That's funny. All right. He said, I withheld this from you, for I did not know what to think. In Gondor, we rely upon the bright sword and the sturdy shield, and we are right to do so. A dream is a fleeting thing, and what man would put his trust in something that lives only in darkness and vanishes with the sunrise? He strokes his beard thoughtfully. I say dreams are fleeting, but this one was peculiar. It came to my brother Faramir on the eve of the attack on Osgiliath, and then many nights afterward, always the same. It came once to me, and although my brother told me of the dreams, it was with mine own eyes that I beheld these details. They seemed so real to me. In the dream, I saw the eastern sky growing dark, and there was a rumbling as of thunder. But a light lingered in the western sky, and a clear voice called to me. Seek for the sword that was broken, it said. In Imladris it dwells. There shall be counsels taken stronger than mortal spells. That is of great interest to any son of Gondor. Any means of countering the evils that pour from the Morgul Vale are welcome in Minas Tirith. But the voice did not stop there. Speaking of Imladris, it continued. There shall be shown a token that doom is near at hand. For Isildur's bane shall awaken, and the halfling forth shall stand. He stares at you solemnly. I must apologize for treating you with such surprise when we met in Tharbad, but I confess I thought you might have been the halfling spoken of in the dream. Perhaps you are still, but having come to know you, I do not think you mean any harm to Minas Tirith or to Gondor. For my brother to dream of this doom, the doom of Minas Tirith, on so many nights, and then for the same dream to come to me, I fear that we are running out of time. Gondor needs the wisdom that lies hidden in Imladris, but now we waste the hours hiding in this inn when we should be moving ever onward. Yeah, now I can see why he's frustrated. Sorry, don't mind me eating here. That is why you seek Imladris? You did not tell Saruman the purpose of your journey. Perhaps I was being foolish. Perhaps it is only a dream. But if it is not, if the sword that was broken might save Minas Tirith. Yeah, it might. You would do anything to save your home. She understands. Yep. Aye, Egfrith, that I would.
What was that?
Uh-oh, what was that, she says. Oh, time to stop eating. Somebody says, I feel cold. We know what this is. What else we got? Something outside, says Boromir. Go outside the Crossway House and investigate. Oh, good. Send us out. Great, great, great. Well, hang on. Let me put my little cowl back on. There we go. All right. Affidel starts to charge. I love it. Meneldir, the feeling of dread grows stronger. Prepare yourselves. Something approaches. And the objective is survive until dawn comes to Herne. The dead have risen. Fell sorcery sends them against us.
Fight on, my friends!
Fight on, my friends. Fight on. Is there no end to this horror, she says. I think that is all of them. It's almost dawn. Completed. Waiting night. Okay. It's over. We are alive. That's good. Yes, Hobbit charges are very cute. Yeah, I agree, Aaron Bard.
It is as I feared.
All right, he says, it is as I feared. The creatures that passed through Herne 4 nights ago were the Wraiths, once called Nazgul, and they left something behind to draw the dead hither. But why have these creatures of legend returned to life, and where did they go? And most importantly, and of greatest concern to me, for what purpose have they come so far north? Good question.
We should examine the northern approach.
He said we should examine the northern approach to the town. That's the direction from which the dead came. Let us clean up whatever detritus fell from the whites so as not to spark alarm in the townsfolk, though it may seem too late for that. All right, so we're going to collect tarnished jewelry left by the whites and collect rusted blades left by the whites in our battle. Huh. Interesting. Somehow I think you're a little ahead on me on that.
Oh, I think I completed a couple of deeds that you haven't figured out.
That's possible. All right, and then let's see. We're going to pick up some blades and stuff, and then we also need to talk to some folks that we were running and doing some quests for. Yeah, I think we were fighting here in the main part of town. That makes sense. Oh yeah, so Hobbit charges. So when we're doing group content, usually Affidel will be the leader on that. And so like, you know, when before is like doing a ready check and then make sure that we're all ready, he'll do like, you know, a Hobbit charge. And one of our kinmates was like, sometimes gets a little distracted, kids, whatnot. But he's like, as soon as I hear that Hobbit charge, I know it's time to go. That's great. Rah, 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 rah. Hey, I found a rusted helmet over here. You should come take a look at this. I'm examining it. The fallen arm of a wight forgotten during the battle crawls to attack. The arm makes an angry fist and expires. Interesting. It's like they're trying to leave little more things behind to attack the townsfolk. All right. Well, Alina says, thanks for helping clear some of the ruffians out of Ruddymore. She managed to hire a guard to stand watch. He will ensure that the folks feel safe when they're working. You can go say hello to him if you like. He's just inside the hall. Well, sure. Let's go say hi. Is it Boromir? I think he's a little busy. I'm guessing it's the Elderfell? No. Guard of recent employ. Oh, it's the new guard surprise is evident, but then he adopts a more neutral expression. Hello, stranger. Cause no trouble. I wouldn't want to have to throw you out. Mrs. Alwina was very clear that this is a safe place for craftsmen to work, and she doesn't want fighting. Isn't that a brigand? He does bear a certain familiar resemblance. Perhaps it is your imagination. I don't know. Looks like a brigand to me. Where's she at? Hey. Thank you for your help. My new guard will help keep watch over the Hall of Crafts, and hopefully this malaise that has settled upon Herne will soon pass. You tell her that her new guard does bear a certain resemblance to someone you recently faced in battle, and she shrugs. I am confident it will turn out fine. He has turned over a new leaf, and if young Edhan happens to stop by and finds he is jealous of my new guardsman, it is only a secondary consideration. Thank you once again. If you wish to work your trade in the Hall of Crafts, you're welcome to do so at any time. Okay. So really, she's just trying to make the other kid jealous. Okay. Well, that's pretty, like a horse head. I don't generally carry a shield, even cosmetically, so I'm unlikely to need any of these, but I'll take the most expensive one. Thanks, Alina. Me with my one inventory spot left. I think I need to do some selling real quick here. That's the best shield anyway. Okay. Let's see. I don't need those. I'll keep that. Where's all these weapon things we've been getting? I don't need any of that. Alright, well that clears up a little bit of space. I've now got 9 spots. It's not great, but it's a good start. Oops. As I say, I got caught on the furniture. Oh, hey, there's a guy right here to talk to. Did you already talk to Brioc?
Welcome, friend.
You saw nothing wearisome either to the west or the north. That's a relief. Thank you for setting my mind at ease. You're welcome. All right, and let's see. We need to bring discarded equipment to Meneldir. Oh, we need the stew ingredients. She says, you've done it. Now, to fill this cottage with his favorite smells, will you join us for dinner? It's the least I can do to repay you. She says, I'm going to get started on dinner, but I wonder if I can impose on you for another favor while I'm seeing to the cooking. His bedroom is on the second floor, her father's, but in his condition, there's no way he can manage the stairs. Will you disassemble his bed and reassemble it in the library downstairs? He'll complain, I am sure, but I can tell by the bedroll that he's already been spending nights down here. Okay. Aha, there's his bedroll. He's already sleeping downstairs, so we might as well make him a little bit more comfortable. Sure. Very nice. We'll disassemble the bed. All right. Oh, yeah. So before was pointing out that there's no in-game built-in mechanism to signal that the ready check went through, that everybody's ready. So yeah, having an audio signal works out really great. Let's see. And Aaron talks about in some festival events you cannot use emotes. Yes. So folks will jump up and down like the beer brawl one that people will jump to signal that they've achieved. Yes, like the brawling contest in Thorns. Yeah. Bishop says, hello, good day. Good day to you. Oh, we're setting up the bed. You're standing in the bed. It takes some time, but the bed is reassembled. No problem. We are your Lord of the Rings IKEA equivalent. She says, thank you so much. I know he has a hard time admitting when he needs help, but I think that in the end he will be grateful. Yeah. She says, while you were taking the bed apart, sorry, the deed tracker popped up. So while you're taking the deed apart, Father had a guest arrive, as I'm sure you noticed. That is Ozian Bedow, and I am sure that he is the reason Father was down at Tharbad snooping around. I suspect he is also the reason Father got injured years ago. Ozian has always wanted to be the mayor, and though he whispers honeyed words into Father's ears, his actions had led me to believe he is more of a wasp than a bee. Well, I have some work yet to do on the stew. Will you bring the wine to the table? And perhaps you could speak with them. I want to know what's going on, but Ozian and I are not on speaking terms. And Father clamps his mouth shut as soon as I enter the room. Hey, now I'm a friend to the Donadine of Cardolan. Well, I'm going to grab this bottle of wine that's standing here. And hey, you two. How's it going? He says, I have no problem with Rangir, and I wish she would warm up to me. I have made sure to care for her dear father in her absence, but Cadwallon missed her a great deal. It has been so difficult for him since the accident. Well, his troubles go back decades before that, to when his wife ran off, but I should not speak of it. How did this guy get his wife to run off, too? Oh, sorry. He sniffs and looks you up and down dismissively. Cadwallon, the mayor, says, why are you still here? Well, the wine is welcome, even if you are not. No offense meant, but my daughter does not need someone like you around giving her crazed ideas. She already ran off to the big city and abandoned her duties and me. She is back, but for how long? Her mother was the same way, never content to settle down, always running off to look at crumbled fortresses and searching for elves and the little folk down south in Swanfleet. He narrows his eyes at you, but accepts the wine. Okay. So they're a pain in the butt, the pair of them. Well, what did they say? Oh, Ossian cared for my father in my absence, did he? I did not realize my father needed tending until now. No, he is a grown man, was capable when I left. I will not let that guilt creep in and take away the joy I had in traveling and studying in Bree. But what my father said is intriguing. Mother was going to look at ruins. His words are stirring a memory within me. Will you do me a favor and look for my mother's journal? It should be on the shelf in my father's library. Okay. Let's see. So, Aaron says there's a Skyrim mod made a furniture-related mod, and you can earn the title IKEA Born. That's cute. All right, the journal is old and faded, I think it said. All right. You found it. What memories this brings back. After Mother disappeared, I would pore over her written words for hours, searching for some clue as to where she went. I never believed that she left us on purpose, as my father insists. No, I think she met some darker fate. The stew needs to cook over low fire for many hours, and I also wish to check on the townsfolk and see how they are faring. Will you meet me at the Crossway House? Many people are still holed up at the inn, taking comfort from one another. Sure. Her eyes glitter with tears as she gently takes the journal. Aw. All right. Got my eyes on you, Ossian. All right, so let's see. Where do we want to go? This way. You know, it's funny. We've been running all over Herne, and yet I still don't necessarily have a complete idea in my head of how to get around. But south is how we get to the Crossway Inn. Oh, hey, Manildir standing out there. I bet he wants to talk to us. Hey, what's up? We found a shield. Or a helmet. He says, this equipment is very old. Even in the light of day, I find it hard to believe such things are possible. Ancient terrors stalk the land once again, and the dead walk. While you were gone, I found a skull-shaped token buried in the dirt, a shallow grave of sorts just beneath the topsoil. I think it was left here on purpose to draw those creatures hither. Aha! I am unsurprised by this. He says, I share Menildir's amazement, but I do not like it. Let the dead sleep, and trouble not the living. I am filled with disgust that such things may be. But where has Egfrith gone? I thought she went with you, but she has not returned. Do you think she ran afoul of some among the whites that we might have missed? Doubtful? But he says, Boromir is right. I have not seen Egfrith since we came outside. I thought she went with you to collect the fallen items of the whites, but you say you have not seen her. Perhaps she went back inside the inn? All right, we're going to go look inside, see if she's in there. And we are past 2 hours here. So, oh, Egfrith does not appear to be inside the Crossway House. So I think we're going to wrap up and not too terribly long.
Thank you for meeting
All right, but here, Rhaegar, the daughter, she says, thank you for meeting me here. The town is still reeling from the passage of those Black Riders, and I want to help wherever I can. If you have time, perhaps you could too lend some aid.
This is intolerable.
She says, my father was the main reason I returned, but he is correct, and that I would have come back on my own now as well. I have been doing research into an ancient ruler of this land, Luloth. Luloth? Long ago, she served as Princess Regent when her son was too young to take the throne. She was beloved by her people, and under her rule, the land prospered. Cardolan was once a great and powerful place, with princes and princesses, knights and guild members. Now it has ruins, spirits, and dangerous creatures. The wild has taken back the rolling hills. The once great walls of fortresses are overgrown and being reclaimed by the old forest. Will you listen to my tale of Luloth? Sure. Well, let me come back to you on that. Hey, what's he doing here? But first, let me see. Wenna.
My baby.
Uh-oh.
My
The missing child of
is
Herne.
missing.
Uh-oh. She
Please.
says, my baby, my
must
child is
help me.
missing. Please, you must help me. She says, everything was fine last night. I put Kai down to sleep at the usual time, but I woke this morning, he was gone. I've been trying to work up the courage to leave the inn and search for him, but the riders, what if the riders took him? Oh, please, will you ask if any of my neighbors have seen him? Perhaps he went into one of their houses. Sure. Hey, Azian. He says, what, a missing child? Of course I have not seen them. She should go look for the brat herself and stop putting her problems on the shoulders of others. We already have enough going on. Well, you're just a ray of sunshine, aren't you? Hey, Maddock, what you know? Missing child of Herne. Says, no, I'm sorry, I have not seen the little one today. Have you asked his friends? They're all playing together in the inn. Oh, let's go find the inn kids. Egg Arthur says that you had to stop going to IKEA. You were suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Do you know, we have a lot of IKEA stuff here at our house. It's really convenient. There's one not far from here. So, all right. So let's see. Tangwyn, the healer, introduces herself, and even though we have run into her and taken things from her before, but I suppose we never properly introduced ourselves. So she says, dangerous times these are. Wicked figures draped in shadow prowl through our village. Goblins to the north, orcs to the south, wolves that pour through our streets, ravenous and driven mad by some fell rage. With all of this chaos, folks are anxious and barely sleeping through the nights. Hawkwort is an herb which can be made into a tea to help with these troubles. Please keep a lookout for a white flower that blooms around Herne. To the west, bring me the heads of the flowers and gather some lavender from my garden as well. Together we'll make tea for the townsfolk. That sounds quite lovely. I haven't found any playing children. Nope. Well, what about in here? Yo, hey. Hey, kiddo, what you know?
I did see Kai.
I did see Kai. I did. He was sleepwalking. His face looked all dreamy and he was kind of mumbling. He was reaching out for the glow ball. We are not supposed to follow the glow balls. The wailing lady will get you. Ask Father. I told him all about what I saw. Oh, probably the, the things in the swamp. Tut, tut. Not a good idea. Ah, here's the father of it. Hey, Roderick, what do you know? Yes, Maul did tell me that she saw Kai wandering after glowing lights. Honestly, Maul is a bit of a dreamer herself. I would not lend too much weight to she said. If you ask me, though, there is someone who might know something. You should talk to that Dunlending. Their kind steal children all the time. What? I would ask him myself, but he looks rather dangerous. But it would not be a problem for you, would it? He's upstairs in his room, but don't tell him I sent you. Well, that's... You're a jerk. Like, you're going to accuse somebody of something because of the way they look, and then be like, yeah, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to sit here and spread rumors. Hey, there's a guy downstairs who's kind of an idiot.
Child, you say? No,
They say, yes, I am Gurthern, a missing child, you say. No, I have not seen them, but tell me everything you know. Perhaps I can help. So, your words are troubling. Leader Talfrin sent me here to look into rumors of dark tidings that were reaching us in Langaran. Some fell wind has swept across Swanfleet and Cardolan. The dead stir in their barrows, and orcs are crawling over the ruined fortresses and forts. You say the young girl mentioned glowing balls of light. With the unrest around the barrows, the Elhuden have also risen. I have seen their flickering lights. Yeah. I've seen their flickering lights at dusk near the Callerfell. Perhaps you will find some answers there. I will show you where I saw them, but I dare not go close myself. North of Herne is a small pond around which the Elhuden have been gathering in numbers. Meet me there. Okay, so we have his quest. All right, so do you want to pop in here and I'll do this I'm guessing it's an instance. Oh, you got to finish talking to those guys real quick. Or just leave it. We'll just pause. Okay, so there we go. I guess we will pause at this point. Speaking of, the cat has crawled underneath Before's desk and is curled up there on something nice and soft. So we are surrounded by the cats, but you can't see them, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. All right, so we'll have some wee pause here at this point. So let's see, what do we have going on? Not that one character. So in my bio, let me pull this up. I have the calendar in here. And yes, the Hobnanigans. Oh, Hobnanigans is 2 to 6 February. Today's the 1st. No, tomorrow's the 1st. Nay, maybe. Oh, right. The calendar on my wall doesn't have the actual dates. I have a Lord of the Rings calendar on my wall, but it's from not this year. Yes, today is Tuesday the 31st. Tomorrow's Wednesday the 1st. So Thursday is Hobnanigans. Thursday, Friday, this whole weekend is Hobnanigans. And then also starting on Thursday is the Omens event. If you have not partaken in that before, the short version synopsis of that is that you go into skirmishes. In skirmishes, there might be an ill omen. You defeat it, and you get ill omen tokens that you can spend then with the barterer. You want to make sure you go to a skirmish camp before you do the skirmishes, because you want to talk to the barterer before you go in, because they'll give you more information about where you need to go. And I think there might even be a wrapper quest that you need to pick up from them. So go to the skirmish camp, talk to the person, go do the skirmishes, get stuff. So there is a rotating list, I believe, of who all you're looking for. I think that's how it went. Yeah, it's on the wiki. If you want more details, check out the Lotro wiki. Lots of information there. Okay, so, and we'll spend next week on Tuesday, because I'm here every Tuesday. We'll do next Tuesday's stream. We'll do ill omens. And so I'll be able to show you and walk you through how to do that. So if that's something that, yeah, I can just show you rather than tell you. So that'll be nice. You know, the old acting thing, show, don't tell. Let's see, the curator is coming back in a week and a half or so. And then remember that the legendary item reward track is coming to an end in 14 days. You've got 2 weeks left to finish off and get as far as you can. So remember to work on that if that's something important to you. And that's the next upcoming stuff. So Megan says, have an awesome week. Really enjoy your Tuesday streams. Well, thank you, Megan. I appreciate folks coming and hanging out here in the chat and joining me for these fun adventures. Because, you know, as I say, I enjoy doing this fun stuff. And so I'm glad to share it with other people. Aaron Bard, if you're wondering what's the best way to do reward track earning, well, festivals, but there's no festivals on right now. Your character has to be able to earn legendary reward experience. So you have to have gotten your legendary items. You know, you have to have gone through the process, the quests that you're required to do in order to get your legendary items. So that's the first step. So make sure you've done that. So only characters who've done that can earn legendary item reward experience. I don't know, like quests in Moria, quests that have LI experience.
On-level questing is very effective.
Yeah, on-level questing is very effective. And aside from that, I would say like dungeons, you know, instances, all of those things, because some of those will have quests in them that give you LI experience. So Instance Finder. It's got to be high-level ones, though, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Poke around and see what you find.
The problem of instances is they don't have a lot of quests.
Yeah, because you really want quests, because it comes from quest completion. Skirmishes, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say pop in, see if it has on there, you know, when it says what's your reward going to be. So, like, here, like, it tells me my reward is going to be increased reputation with the Dunedain of Cardolan and Iron Coins of Cardolan. So if it has LI experience listed there, you're good to go. If it doesn't, then you're going to be sad, right? I mean, that's kind of... like, I have some Moria stuff. This is Phil Gashan, which is one of the instances, or dungeons, yeah. So you see there's legendary item reward experience. So I would be... You have to... Yeah, you need quests. So look for quests that have LI experience listed as a reward. That's what you're looking for. So we do a lot of dungeon stuff, and that's how I've gotten a lot of it. Like on the stream here, we've done a lot of this stuff. So whatever gives you a quest that you can complete, that will give you your LI stuff. I don't think Legendary Moria does it? No, it just gives you coins. So, but the quests themselves, like these things themselves, might. All right. Well, I'm going to head out. B4 is coming up here soon. I think he's on in 5 minutes or so, maybe even less. So I will see you next Tuesday. That is the plan. And yeah, we'll be doing some Ill Omens. And if we finish that, we'll come back and spend some more time here in Cardolan. All right, y'all have a great rest of your week. Stick around for B4, doing some plugin development. And until I see you again, remember always to stay in touch with that Hobbit side of your heart. All right, take care of each other. Bye-bye.